You guys, could we ask you a quick favor? Would you take just about 5 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe? Doesn't take much time, but it means a lot and helps other parents find their way to what we hope is some helpful content.
Hey friends, welcome to the Raising Boys and Girls podcast. I'm Sissy Goff.
And I'm David Thomas.
And I'm Melissa Trevathan.
And we're so glad you've joined us for this conversation. Let's dive in.
Happy release day, David Thomas.
Happy release day to you.
I am so excited. What a gift to us to get to write these children's books.
I really still can't believe it happened.
I know. We've been talking about doing this for years.
It was a dream come true for both of us to get to do this.
And another dream come true for me is our podcast guest today. We have one of my favorite people on the planet, my favorite 6-year-old, certainly, Henry Weber, my oldest nephew, who calls me Diddy. He loves to, in professional situations, try to call me Sissy, and he tried really hard when we interviewed him. But I always make him go back to Diddy. And he calls you Uncle David because he adores you.
I love that guy so much. And it was dreamy. I mean, it's a kid's book, and it's about dogs, so it makes sense that we would interview a kid, talk about books, and talk about dogs.
Yes, and he's got a tip or two for the kids in your life that might be helpful. But hop over to YouTube, because can you imagine sitting with your 6-year-old trying to have a podcast interview? There might have been a smidge of squirming going on, and Patches might have only climbed on top of his head 4 times. She was losing. She might have been more excited about the interview than we were.
I think you're 100% correct. And stay tuned, because we're going to come back after this delightful conversation and talk a little bit more about some amazing tools. So stick around.
We're excited for you to be in for such a treat with our conversation with Henry. In this episode of the podcast, we have one of my very favorite people on the planet. My oldest nephew, Henry Weber. And Henry, how old are you?
6.
6 years old. And we are so excited to get to talk to you and learn from you. And we're talking about the kids' books. Who are they about?
Lucy and Owen.
Lucy and Owen. That's exactly right.
And you are the first and only kindergartner we've ever had on the podcast. So excited. And let's start there. Will you tell us, what do you love about being a kindergartner?
It's like so easy. It's just like there's so easy paperwork. Like I bet and sometimes people go hard on you. That's the part I don't like. I mean, guess what?
What?
This is not that good about this part. Like, yeah. Do you know what's kindergarten sometimes crazy? Guess what?
What?
I am doing, work on my computer that I don't think, my teacher said she doesn't even know how to do.
What?
She can't get it right.
Henry.
Is that crazy or not?
That is crazy. That is very impressive.
That is the part I do not like about kindergarten.
What's your favorite part of the school day?
Recess.
Recess.
Yeah. What do you like to do at recess?
Play.
Yes, of course.
I hear that a lot from boys. Recess is the best part of the day.
Mm-hmm. As we're talking about the Lucy and Owen books, Henry, you've learned to read this year, which I'm so proud of you.
Yep.
And I know some books that you're reading that Uncle David and I both really loved when we were growing up. But will you talk about a favorite book you've read lately?
Well, does it have to be me read or my parents?
It can be either.
Can it be ever?
It can be ever.
Yes.
The day that the crayons quit.
Oh.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I haven't read that book.
haven't
I'm so
either.
glad to know about it. The Day the Crayons Quit.
Yep.
Not only are we excited about being with you today, Henry, but Patches is losing her mind. You might have to jump over on YouTube to check this episode out because she is all over you today. We're going to be talking about dogs because you have a dog named Winnie. And what's your favorite thing about your dog?
Like when she gets a haircut, she's just so soft. And when she snuggles after, I never want to get off.
Oh, she's
love
so
that.
soft. Why do you think people need dogs?
Because they're a good life guider.
How so?
Like some dogs, like the dogs who do train to help, like help people in wheelchairs who are blind, lots of things.
You're right. It's an amazing thing about dogs.
They do so many good things in the world. You're right.
Henry, you also have a little brother named
Wit.
And how old is Wit?
3.
And what is your favorite thing about being a big brother?
Like I just get to guide him through life.
You do.
Just help him do things.
Help him learn things. What's something you think it's important to teach him?
Just maybe I kind of helped teach him how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still has to have floaties.
Yeah. Well, Henry, you are a really good big brother.
I've watched you be a big brother. You're an amazing big brother, Henry Weber. What is the hardest part about being a big brother?
Would just try to bug me. It's just exhausting. I just wish wait, stop bugging me. Stop it. Stop.
No,
And sometimes I go rage monster.
You're much kinder than that, Henry.
Yeah, but sometimes I do.
Okay, we're going to switch to talking about the books.
Okay.
You know Lucy's book is about, well, tell me what was your favorite thing about Lucy?
When she did her special wave.
Me too, Henry.
I loved it.
I loved it too, Henry. And Lucy's book is about having courage. So I want to know what helps you have courage.
Lucy's book.
You're so sweet. What else?
My friends.
Your friends? What do your friends do that help you have courage?
Just be really kind. That's the key to have courage. Be encouraging.
That's good. Yeah, those words are related, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, in Lucy's book, I wrote about a little bit scared, a whole lot of fun.
Yep. I noticed.
Will you talk about where that came from?
Sissy Goth.
Not Sissy Goth. You. Who am I to you?
Okay, fine, Sissy Diddy.
Okay. So but when did we start saying that and why?
We're in Disney World. We're about to go on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was just really scared.
Really scared. It was dark. And so what happened next?
So, my aunt said, it's a little bit scary, a whole lot of fun.
That's exactly right. And was that true?
Yes.
And do we talk about that now sometimes?
Even when it's not a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, not a little bit scary, a whole lot scary.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What are other things you've done that are a little bit scared, a whole lot of fun that you can remember?
When we had the little, remember the, tornado alerts, and it almost kept all of us up, almost all night.
I remember that. And now we're going to take a little break to hear from one of our sponsors who makes this podcast possible. David, have you read If You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
The one where he wants more and more?
Yes, I have basically been living a version of that at my house with organizing. It started with my bookshelves, moved to my kitchen, and now I'm in the garage.
I hope you don't find an actual mouse out there.
Ooh, that could end everything. But you know who is really responsible for this overhaul? Wayfair. They have everything I need and some things I don't need but love for every room at incredible prices. I ordered a ball organizer, a garden tool organizer, shelves, so many things for my garage.
I think you need to move to the porch next. Summer is on its way, and there's no better place to go for outdoor furniture than Wayfair. Wayfair's huge selection of outdoor essentials will help you make your outdoor space more comfortable, functional, and most importantly, more you.
Their delivery is free, fast, and hassle-free. It is so easy to shop and search for items on any budget.
Shop a huge selection of outdoor furniture online. This summer, get outside with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now.
That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. David, what's the first thing you do every day when you wake up?
Ask my dog why she can't sleep past 6 a.m.
Fair enough. What next?
Beg her to go back to sleep.
Well, that never works. So what next?
Head straight to the coffee.
I love my coffee routine, but don't sometimes like the way it makes me feel.
Everyday Dose has the classic coffee taste you love without the nasty side effects, plus added benefits. No crash and no jitters.
Everyday Dose is coffee plus benefits. It combines 100% Arabica coffee with powerful ingredients like lion's mane and chaga, collagen protein, and nootropics to fuel your brain, boost focus, and give you clean, sustained energy all day long.
Coffee Plus is a mild roast, light and smooth, low acidity, which is easy on sensitive stomachs, mellow energy. Coffee Plus Bold is a rich blend of medium roast, Arabica coffee, robust and full-bodied yet smooth, extra boost of energy.
Get 45% off your first subscription order of 30 servings of Coffee Plus or Bold Plus.
You'll also receive a starter kit with over $100 in free gifts, including a rechargeable frother and gunmetal serving spoon by going to everydaydose.com/RBG or entering RBG at checkout.
You'll also get free gifts throughout the year. That's everydaydose.com/RBG for 45% off your first order. And now back to our show. You know, we talked about it. I don't know if you remember this, but we talked about it when you were going to preschool that next fall. And I said, Henry, a little bit scared, a whole lot of fun. And you know what you said to me?
What?
Diddy, school is not that fun. But we've tried it other times.
That's really funny.
I know.
Well, Henry, can I ask you a question about the Owen book?
Yep.
So Owen's book is about resilience, and resilience is just learning to do hard things. And what is something you do that helps when you're trying something hard?
I think maybe it's like, can it be like waking up on a cold, like rainy morning?
Yes.
Like we do this thing when we like leave at the car. It's called Huggies High Five. Like we do it like no matter who drops me off, I do it. No
When
matter.
you're getting out of the
So
car.
good.
Will you say what it is again?
Huggies High Five. So you hug them and you kiss them and you give them a high five.
That's incredible.
High five. Yep. Is there anything you think sometimes I need to remember when you're a little bit scared of doing something hard?
Be brave.
Yeah. I hear your mom a lot say, you can do hard things, Henry, doesn't she? Yeah.
Henry, what do you think any parent who has a kindergartner should know?
That it's okay if they get hurt. Like if they like the kindergarten, it's okay.
Even if they get hurt?
Yeah.
That's a great reminder.
That is a
They're going to
great
be
reminder.
okay. I notice you have a Band-Aid on your knee right now. Did that happen at school?
No, this is for my last time getting my wood frozen off. But this, I got a cut today, and I ripped some of it off,
Yeah.
and I put it on me.
And that's a great reminder. Even though you got hurt, you're okay, aren't you?
Yeah. What are your favorite things to do with your parents?
Can it just be like one of your parents?
Yeah, or it could be your ditty.
Okay. Staying up late with you, Diddy.
Staying up late.
When we have what?
Pumpkin party.
Bunkin'
They're the
parties.
best.
What else do you do at bunkin' parties?
We do like a little like surprise. Like it's like a Hot Wheel. And it's really fun. Like you never know what Hot Wheel you're getting. And guess what? One time I got like an old Lamborghini.
Did you really?
Yes.
There's nothing like a bunkin' party at Diddy's.
Yep.
I love you, Henry Weber.
I love you.
Okay, we have one
Uncle
more
David
question.
has one last question.
You ready?
Yep.
Henry, every time we do a podcast, at the very end, we talk about tacos.
Yeah.
So we got 2 questions to ask you. First question is, do you like queso more or guacamole more?
Will you scoot up to the microphone and say?
This is maybe the hardest question in the world.
Tell us.
Both.
Both.
You can totally say that.
Yeah, because you can order both.
so good.
And what's your favorite taco?
Does it count burritos?
You can do burrito.
Yay! I like I like a queso and guacamole with some sour cream. At like in a burrito at Baja burrito. It's just so good.
It's so good, Henry. You're right.
I'd like to go to Baja Burrito with you sometime. Can we do that?
And I really like the old broken down Volkswagen.
Yes.
Henry Weber, you're the best.
You are the best. Look at Patches is just wanting to play with you.
Can I snuggle with Patrick?
You can snuggle with
Snuggle. That's a
Patches.
perfect way to end our podcast
Yeah.
right
Henry,
there.
thank you.
Welcome.
I mean,
Come on.
that was the sweetest.
Oh my goodness. I could interview 6-year-old boys every day for the rest of my life. Is there any wonder why I call them the lover stage?
No.
They're just little dreamboats,
I
aren't they?
know. I see evidence of it so much in so many places with him.
I just couldn't stop looking at him. He's so doggone cute. And he was thinking so hard about his answer to the questions. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. I will never forget that
Oh,
little
I'm
conversation.
thrilled we did it.
Me too. Okay, well, I want to talk to you, though, on release date about your experience in some ways and some things you're learning. So we talk about what it's like to release a book in the world.
I will,
you?
but I want you to be thinking of the exact same question, okay? I would say, I think it's humbling. Every time around, it's overwhelming and humbling to think we get to do this and to offer something like this up. And I think in particular, this book, like you and I both had friends who've sent us text of them reading to kids. And it's just overwhelmed us every time around to think about, that was so our desire with this book, that little people would begin building an emotional vocabulary. And to think about parents and kids pointing to the pictures of Owen and figuring out what they're feeling and looking at Lucy's thermometer and deciding what's a little bit of a deal and what's a medium-sized deal and a big deal. It just is overwhelming to think about for me. What's it been like for you?
Well, I think every book that I've ever been a part of feels so vulnerable, and you don't really think about it. And we laugh a lot that as Enneagram 1s, we often look like we just have it figured out and we're just moving forward. And I don't think you know when an author puts a book out into the world how vulnerable it feels. And so that feels certainly true. And I think because it's our first kids' books, it feels so much like that. But I think especially because it's about Lucy, for me, it's going to make me cry. But, it just feels so personal. And it's all true, just like it is with Owen. And I will never forget. I think I wrote Lucy in an hour and a half. And I was sitting at my kitchen counter and she was so sick and at the end of her life and laying below me. And I just sobbed the whole hour and a half, the whole time I wrote it. And cry still when I read it. But I think because of that, it makes it feel even more like that. So I don't know, just feels like it always, but especially does, feels like you're putting a piece of your heart out into the world, but in such a sweet way. And the fact that these animals that we loved so dearly are going to get to, as you said, help kids just, means the world to me.
Have you had a favorite part? Because we've tried to do something around the release of each book that's been different every time. Has there been something about this particular release that you've loved?
Well, our release party yesterday was a blast.
Oh, my goodness.
So fun. So many people that we adore and are so supportive of us showed up, which meant a ton. And I think my favorite part was I got to be the mystery reader at Henry's school.
Please
kindergarten
talk about
class.
that.
And I took both books and nobody had seen them yet. I hadn't read Lucy out loud, and sitting in his little classroom with all those precious kids. I did a little Instagram reel. I don't even think I've showed you yet. And it starts in Henry just being hilarious. And he was like, well, I don't know. Diddy normally writes books for grownups. And then, of course, at the end, everything about a kindergarten class. One of them says, my dad writes books, and I went to the zoo one time, and I knew a dog named, all the adorable comments, but it just was so sweet and fun. And even the questions in the back, I asked some of the questions. It was so fun.
Oh, my goodness.
So fun.
Just the thought of Henry emceeing that event. I'd have given anything to have been in that room.
I can't wait to show you the video. It was really fun. So sweet. Tell me your favorite part of release week.
And thinking about you getting to be the mystery reader reminds me that a few days ago, you and I got to go to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital and read books to kids and families there. And it was a full circle experience for me because part of Owen's book takes place in Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, where we volunteered for a lot of years. And so to be back in that place where part of that story happened, and I would undoubtedly say I met some of the most resilient kids and parents I've ever met in the world. And to be in that place, to, get to intersect with those families who are just heroic, and to get to intersect with those nurses and doctors and child life specialists, like just some of the most heroic people on the planet. To think about that book being about resilient, they're some of the most resilient grown-ups in this world to work in a children's hospital. It was a beautiful experience that I will always be grateful you and I got to have during the release of this book. So it was a gift.
Well, you're making me cry all over again, which also, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, at 55, which I just turned recently, means when I feel a lot of big feelings, instead of getting dysregulated, my glasses fog up because hot flashes are a real thing.
My wife, who is a teacher, begins a countdown of school days remaining every May.
I think every teacher and every school-age child is joining her in that countdown. Parents, don't panic as summer fast approaches. We have a solution for you.
Whether you're staying home or heading out on summer explorations, Kiwico is inviting kids and kids at heart to enjoy the Summer Adventure Series.
Kiwico delivers awesome science and art projects, and for the first time ever is offering a Summer Adventure Series.
Kids will receive 6 hands-on project kits over 6 weeks with enriching content and fun activities to accompany each project.
There's something for everyone. Kiwico offers summer programs from 2-year-olds to teens. Henry and I just made this adorable archery set. He wants to play it every time he comes to my house, and I got Wit the veterinarian starter kit.
Please tell me when he's seeing patients, I have his first.
Kiwico encourages kids to get outside and explore and keeps them off their screens.
Kiwico does the legwork for you so your kids can spend quality time tackling projects and learning. And you can either receive all your summer adventure crates at once or weekly for 6 weeks.
Build the best summer ever with Kiwico. Get $15 off on your summer adventure series at kiwico.com/RBG.
That's $15 off your summer adventure at kiwico.com/RBG. And now back to the show.
Okay, we have some podcast episodes coming up. We're doing a little mini series, which I'm so excited about these books. And we're going to talk about Lucy and Anxiety one week. And then we've got Dr. Tamar Chansky coming, who I think I've quoted in my books more than anyone else in the history of time on anxiety. Then you're talking about Owen and resilience. And then we have
Dr. David Brooks, who wrote Raising Resilient Kids. I have quoted that book more times than I could count.
So excited.
Oh my goodness.
And then we have our dear friend Kelly Minter coming, wrapping it all up around faith. So we are really excited about this little mini series we're going to be doing. But I want to give a bonus right now. Can we each tell one extra tool that goes along with the books? And we do have these conversation starters in the back that we feel like we can start this conversation so early, which is why we wrote the books, part of why we wrote the books. Will you talk about something that you are excited to be using from the book with kids and parents?
I am. And I was reminded of it because you and I did an interview about these books recently with a friend of ours, and she told a great story about having not learned to jump rope when she was a kid and how nervous she was to join a class at a gym as a grown-up because she knew that was a part of it, and how I want the tool for parents listening to consider to be what we'll call a story swap, where you could, thinking about the courage that Lucy had in this book, share a story. You and your kids can swap stories of a time that you felt scared to do something, and then you gave it a shot. And she talked about what it was like to go in that room as a grown-up in her 40s and feel completely overwhelmed. And even for a minute kind of thought, oh, maybe we won't jump rope, and then found out she was going to have to do it like 5 times during the class. And so think about doing a story swap where your kids get to hear the evidence of times not just when you were growing up that you felt overwhelmed, but that you still do, so that we are reminding kids that courage is a muscle we're going to need to flex over and over.
I love that, David. I've never heard you talk about that. A story swap.
Story swap.
That's so good. Okay.
Can you talk about a tool?
Well, before that, can you jump rope?
I actually can jump rope.
Okay.
I don't mean to brag on myself, but I'm a decent jump roper.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, when we were sitting listening to her tell that story, I thought, I don't know if I could jump rope anymore. I don't have a clue. Made me want to try it. Test my resilience. I'm going to keep building my resilience muscle.
We might put that on Instagram at some point soon.
That would be fun. Well, so I just this week used the Lucy book for the first time in counseling, which was so fun. And it was not my intention, but I was sitting, as feels like something that happens 3 times a week right now, with parents of a little girl who is majoring in control as a coping strategy. It is her favorite coping strategy. And so out of that, she's having a lot of big feelings, which typically come out as anger. And so I was walking them through the thermometer in the back of the book, which we're going to talk about in next week's episode, I think. But another thing that we talked about, in the Worry-Free Parent, I have a section on breath prayers.
I love that section.
Oh, well, I love the concept. And I talk about that we can really use any verse that we memorize, and we just basically are saying the verse to ourselves, repeating the verse to ourselves as we breathe in and out. Breathing in, I can do all things, out through Christ who strengthens me. Whatever verse we pick that anchors us to connectedness to God, to peace within ourselves, to a sense of trust in Him. And so as we were talking, I thought, well, kids this age can do the same. And we'll talk more about this next week too. But the end of the book is Lucy really discovers her special gifts and who she is. She's freer to be herself when she realizes how loved she is by me and by God. And we were talking about basically when kids are in that space of control, they're forgetting that. They're losing sense of, my parents have got this, I'm okay. And so we talked about teaching this little girl to say, breathing in, my parents love me, and breathing out, God loves me too. So it's going to be okay. Just over and over and over again. Can you imagine having learned that tool at 4, which is why we're so excited about these books? Okay, you ready for a question? Let's switch gears.
Ready.
What kinds of tricks do your fears try to play on you? Because that's something I talk about in the book, how fears play tricks on us.
That is such a good question. I would say my fears play tricks on me by, you and I have a friend, her name is Suzanne. And she talks about this idea called chaining, where it's like one thing chains to another, to another, to another. And so my fears often will chain to other fears and immediately remind me of a time that I failed, which, you know, as Enneagram ones, we're so good at thinking about times when we failed and didn't do something right. And so it's like I can go right back to 10 examples of that. So I would say that's one of the ways it plays a trick on me. Chaining, yes. All right. I have a question for you.
Oh, look at that picture. Just looking over your shoulder at Owen and your dad.
I know, I love that picture so much.
It's the sweetest.
I love it. Who is good at reminding you that you can do hard things? I talk about the importance of having people who can remind us when we forget ourselves. So who's somebody in your world right now that reminds you can do hard things?
Okay, I don't know why this is the fourth time I've cried in today's episode. Maybe it's... Okay, here's another thing about release week. You're sleep deprived.
That is the truth.
But David, okay, I'm going to embarrass you, but I think I would say you.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah, really. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of hard things any of us do personally, but there are a lot of hard things you and I do professionally, of getting up in front of really big crowds and having to do talks we've never done. And I mean, just a lot of things that I'm so grateful for. And you are like my brother. And I can't decide though if you're like, I guess you're like my little brother, since I do have 3 months on you. But
your little brother who looks older.
No, but you really are such a reminder to me of that I can do hard things. And I hope I get to do the same for you.
Well, I'm going to do it for you right now, friend. You could jump rope. I want you to report back, okay?
I will. And you guys that are listening, just know what a privilege it is for us to get to put these books in the hands of your kids and to be a voice that reminds them of how capable they are. And we want to continue to say the same to you. You are so capable, and it is such a privilege to come alongside you. David, what a team we have that we get to call friends who help make this podcast possible.
Amanda Young, our operations manager.
Chris Starrett, our engineer.
Our management team at H Squared.
We are thrilled to be a part of the That Sounds Fun network.
Our music was created by the insanely talented Dave Haywood of Lady A.
And if this podcast felt helpful to you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, all the things.
We are grateful for you and cheering you on always.